The next step is that I take a variety of tools and I round and shape the neck to the eventual profile that it will have. And I use a number of processes for this. I'll show those in a bit. That's the rounding process. I work on the neck and I work on the body wings as far as I can when they're by themselves, because I can clearly, it's so easy to put this in a vise and work on it when it's by itself without having to work around the body wings. So that's why I do all this shaping. I've drilled the holes for the tuning pegs. Here's where the wrench goes in for the truss rod. It's all a unit ready to go. So here I'm ready to do some rounding with the Rasp. Normally I'd be wearing this paper mask. Obviously I can't talk with it on, but I wear this all the time. And I keep air circulating all the time through filters when I'm doing this sort of thing so I don't breathe it. These are great gloves. They're pretty lightweight, but they're strong rubber on the face. And when I use something like really coarse sandpaper or a rasp like this, it really keeps from chewing up your hands. So what I've got here, I have just bandsawed some rough angles. And now I'm going to come in and start rounding. Now the bandsaw cut that I made along here is pretty accurate, and I took time to make it pretty much the thickness that I want the neck to be and very much straight. So I'm going to avoid, I can tell because of the saw marks, you know, when I get to rasping in this area, I'm not going to rasp. I'm going to rasp right up to this center line and not take this down any farther than that. Even though it may seem like, gee, that's going to take a while to do that, it actually goes pretty fast. This takes off material pretty quickly, but it also gives me time to think. Something about rasping, I'm thinking about the next steps that I'm going to do on a bass guitar. So the fact that I don't have a computer-operated machine carving this out, it doesn't, to me, thinking and relaxing and enjoying some of these phases is part of the creative process of making something. I don't object to that at all. Now after I've done that for a bit, I may set the neck up on edge. And one of the things, it took me a while to learn this, but the fretboard itself is part of the shaping that you're going to do. For a while I rounded up and then I left the fretboard squared off. No, it should all be part of the same arc. So I'll come into the fretboard a ways as I'm shaping. And when it's up on this angle, I can see much more clearly how I'm doing. And as I shape, there are different profiles that people like in a neck. Sometimes people like a large flat area across the back. So you kind of round, flat, and round to the other side. Other people like a continuous oval. So I would take more material out of this edge so that I can do the full rounding. And at some point, I'm not even looking at it anymore, I'm just feeling it. I just go back and forth, and it becomes more and more clear to me when it's right. And I'll go over it and over it and over it until working gradually with I mean, it's pretty surprising how squared off that side is and how completely rounded this is after, what, a minute and a half of shaping. It goes really quickly. Then, in the interest of time, I'll just jump ahead. I would end up using a finer rasp. So I'm not changing the shape that much at this point. I'm just smoothing, getting rid of the deep gouge marks. Finally, when I get to my finest sandpaper, I'll do some hand sanding to really make it, just to make sure that I've got everything. It's all feel at that point. And I do it until the arc is all complete and it's all as smooth as I think I can get at that point. And then it's time to glue this to the body wings, and then I can do the final shaping of the contour where the neck goes into the body.